Hello, I went to New Wilmington. This is my fourth year going. I'd like to talk a little bit about the college that I was actually in. The college, you gotta get up real early in the morning. They provide you breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then again at midnight, you get a dinner again. So and then you go on your devotions, and the biggest thing that hit me up is a morning devotion when Wendy was talking. She is actually from New York, and she was talking a lot about her testimony on how Jesus came to her life, and just out of the blue, she came up to me and she said, would you like to come forward and tell your testimony? So I went up front and I told my testimony, and I thought all my friends would have came from last year. All different kinds of people came. So when I was done telling my testimony, I had so many people come up to me and pray over me and everything. At Chill, with the college course at Chill to Hill, it's where you can stay outside until midnight that night. They serve dinner right after the Anderson's meeting after 9 o'clock. And they serve, and then we have devotions that are at 12:30, and then you get to stay out in the lobby. The lobby is like a little lounge where everybody, all the college kids get to hang out, be friends and all. We don't have to go to bed at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we gotta get up again at 7:30 the next morning to go eat breakfast and then go to devotions. So I think that was my experience with going to New Wilmington. Hopefully we can all go again next year. So that was my story.
I'm not very good with speeches, so I had to write mine down. It was my first year at New Wilmington Mission Conference, and I was really nervous and I was curious about what I would do for a week. So before I went, I asked one question: what are we going to do there? And I got two answers. It's a mission conference. You listen to missionaries. But I got another. It was, you'll love it. Just wait and see. Don't be nervous. And after going, I see it's more than just missionaries speaking, but there were missionaries from all over the world, with their own unique stories and many different things that God called them to do. That had to be my favorite part of conference, talking to missionaries and hearing their stories. But I also had a lot of fun with the other high school delegates there, and they're very welcoming and helpful. I made more friends than I expected to, probably because of the radiant orange shirts. But the speakers at meetings and shows taught me things and related their speaking to things that happened in my everyday life. So they were easy to understand. The bands were uplifting, and I enjoyed worshiping and praising with them. After leaving New Wilmington, I feel closer to God, and I want to keep my eyes open every day to the blessings that He gives me. I hope to return to conference next year.
Well, first I want to commend, thank you three for coming up and doing that. That takes a lot of courage to do, especially if you have not done it before, so good job. I guess it's my turn to share my testimony. I wish that I could stand up here all afternoon. Actually, I could if you wanted to stick around for... No? Okay. Well, my average sermon length is approximately 47 minutes, so according to my clock. We'll get out of here. I'm just kidding. So I want to share with you a piece of my story. Just a specific detail from New Wilmington that kind of happened to me, and it got me thinking about it. Because New Wilmington overall is kind of a renewal of faith, and I think most of the guys down here would agree with that. It's a rekindling. It ignites the spark that you might already have, or maybe it plants a spark that you don't have already. But either way it is for you, it's a very special thing. And no matter how many pictures we show you, how many stories we tell, how much music you listen to, you're still not going to get what it is unless you go. And I encourage you to do so. If we go next year, the programs for adults are awesome. And there are people of all ages there. It's not just a high school thing. It's for everyone. So sign up, come on board, and come with us. Take a week of your time. No air conditioning, though, so that might deter some of you. One of the youth touched on this. One of the things that we do at New Wilmington is we talk about mission experiences with real-life missionaries, which is pretty awesome. And one of the missionaries that we talked to one day, her name was Claudia. And if you're watching at home, Claudia, hello, Claudia. One of the missionaries shared with us this story of what she did, and I think it was India that she went to. India. Yeah, she went to India. And she was a teacher there. She taught English to people at a school. She established relationships with the Indian girls and things like that. She became friends with them. She helped them when they were dealing with difficult issues and stuff like that. And so one of the students in my group raised his hands and he said, "So how many people did you convert?" And I was kind of like, well, that's an interesting question, an interesting way to ask it. And she was kind of, well, not really, not a whole lot. I guess it was more like being in relationships with these people. And the youth was kind of like, oh, so more like spreading seeds, referring to the parable of the sower. And she said, no, not like spreading seeds, more like removing stones. And I was kind of like, well, I don't really understand that, mostly because it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm still tired. But it kind of got me thinking, and I was like, well, I guess removing stones, maybe that makes sense. But to really understand it, we have to look at the parable of the sower and understand what it means before we understand what she meant by removing stones. So the parable of the sower, we share the gospel with people. We're spreading seeds, right? We're sharing the good news with other people. We're spreading seeds. We're hopefully planting a seed in their heart, a seed of faith. But some of these seeds get caught in the thorns, and these are the material things of the world or something like that, and they don't grow up. Their faith dies before it gets to grow into a full faith. And other seeds land on the path and get eaten by birds. And other seeds land in the rocky soil, and they sprout, but when the sun comes out, they get scorched, and they die before they can fully mature. And some of our faith is still just a little sprout. And when our faith is a sprout, it's in danger of being scorched by the sun and not growing up to be the faith that it could be. Now, I'm sure all of you are full maple, tall, big trees of faith, and that you've already grown in all of your everything that you can learn. And well, maybe not. Maybe you're still just a sprout, and maybe your roots are growing in stones. So how can we remove those stones? I want to read what Jesus explained it a little bit better about the rocky soil in Mark. He said, "Others, like the seed sown in rocky places, hear the word and at once receive it with joy, but since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away." And one of the biggest fears that we have is falling away from God. So if someone can come into our lives and help remove stones to help our roots become stronger, well, then we can be thankful for them doing that.